in Shine in Akachi, Bewa Radio Yendi, A1 Radio Bolgatanga, Sky FM Sunyane and Radio Max Takrade, also live on X Spaces, Facebook and YouTube. Coming up, Ghana's inflation falls to lowest level since rebasing in 2021 to 3.8%. In January 2025, 1.6% drop compared to December 2025. With details as regional disparities suggest price pressures persist in some regions. Also coming up, mixed reactions. Greek government announced move to rename Kotoka International Airport as critics slam Parliament for going to waste state resources on a matter of less priority to Ghana's economic development.
Those are the kind of things I want to see.
Don't listen.
Don't tell me about some international airport renaming. Do you know how much it's going to cost the taxpayer? If we want to build a country, we need to be honest people. The hypocrisy in this country stinks.
Well, we have details plus a statement from the Volta Regional Commissioner of the National Development Planning Commission rejecting the proposal. Meanwhile, Transport Minister says the renaming of the airport is not driven by any political motive nor intended to target or affect any group of people, but rather to revert the facility to its original name. We have details of all that coming up very shortly. Also this afternoon, Institute of Economic Affairs rejects government's proposed sliding scale mineral royalty regime as it insists on a full-scale Ghanaian ownership. We have details in sports.
Black Stars forward Antoine Semenyo eyes first major final as Man City take on Newcastle in the Carabao Cup.
From abundant stoves to sustainable solutions, we'll tell you why community voices are key to clean energy successes.
We are accustomed to using charcoal. LPG is often perceived as dangerous.
That's in our Climate Evidence series for today. These and more with me, Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. Please stay. Let's get into the details now. Ghana's year-on-year inflation rate has dropped sharply to 3.8% in January 2026, the lowest level recorded since rebasing in 2021, according to the latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service. The figures show that price increases have slowed significantly nationwide, with month-on-month inflation easing to just 0.2%. However, the data also reveals wide regional disparities, with some parts of the country still experiencing double-digit inflation while others record outright deflation. Speaking at the release of the figures, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu explaining what is driving the sharp disinflation.
The key drivers of inflation in January 2026 from the data are 1. Moderate increases in food prices, 2. Declining non-food prices. 3. Slowing goods inflation, easing imported price pressures. And 5. Persistent but localized regional disparities. Together, the data tell a very clear story. Inflation has fallen sharply and consistently over the year. Price pressures are easing across most components of the CPI. While challenges remain, particularly in some regions and food categories, the overall trend is positive. This creates space for planning, confidence, and recovery.
And now Fred Smith joins me in studio with details of this. So Fred, what does this headline figure really tell us about price movements in the economy?
Well, Maame Esi, the 3.8% figure shows that prices are rising much more slowly than they were a year ago. And this reflects easing pressures from the exchange rate, a tighter monetary policy and favorable base effects. Now, however, it does not mean prices are falling across the board. It simply means that the rate of increase has slowed significantly.
Well, we understand there's some regional disparities with some regions seeing deflation. Tell us what that means. All right, also we'll get more details about that though. The data also shows strong regional differences. Some regions are seeing deflation while others remain well above the national average. We'll get more on this as we get an economist to tell us more about that. But whilst we try and get the economist to tell us or explain the impact of this inflation on this, we will get more details on that. Professor Peter Korte joins us now on the phone lines. We're grateful for your time, sir. Inflation is dropping, giving some signs of certainty in the economy. What does this really mean, and is this sustainable?
Well, it means a lot for the average Ghanaian because when prices are increasing, it affects living standards support businesses and the entire economy. So they mean now, you spoke about sustainability. Yes, it is sustainable, provided that we continue to pursue market programs. We continue to introduce more irrigated agriculture, because it looks like we are enjoying good weather, and that has also led to increase in production. But that is not a sustainable agricultural system. We have to do more.
Prof, kindly reposition yourself for me. We seem to be losing you a little bit.
Yeah, so can you hear me now?
Much better, thank you.
Sorry about that. Yes, what I'm saying is it's sustainable, provided we can continue to pursue stability, provided we can support the value chain, agricultural value chain, and ensure that we have irrigated agriculture, we have proper storage. We also eliminate the middlemen and reduce tiering and also transport costs in general. Once we are able to do this and invest more in agricultural value chain, I believe we can sustain this drop. I'm also concerned about the regional disparity.
Right.
You see the northern northeast, especially with such a high rate of inflation of 11.2%. That is of great concern, because you cannot have such high rates of inflation in the food producing area. We ought to look into that and direct policy to correct this anomaly.
All right. And also for businesses and the government, how will this help?
Well, for businesses, it helps in planning. I must say that some rate of inflation is good. Because when there is inflation, businesses are able to produce more, there is profitability. So some level of inflation is with some high rate of inflation is acceptable. But it's when it's stable. What it matters is for inflation to be stable, and that enables businesses to plan. Otherwise, it's quite difficult. You produce, sell, and you want to restock, and it becomes a problem. So this is quite good for businesses as well in terms of planning purposes.
Right. Very grateful for your time, Professor Peter Kote there. Now, mixed reactions have greeted the government's plan to rename the Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. The announcement was made by Majority Leader Mahama Yarga in Parliament yesterday, indicating that the Transport Minister Bukari Nikbe is expected to lay a bill before Parliament to effect the renaming. Although the original reason for the renaming is yet to be made public, the announcement alone has sparked raging public debate in the last 24 hours. Listen to Minority Leader Alexander Ferrymakin, who believes this is an indictment on the NDC.
The name Kotoka International Airport, Accra, is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra, or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied. Well,
speaking on the AM show on the Johnny's channel a while ago, Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, says this is irrelevant when there are more important bread and butter issues to tackle.
You buy something, the person knows the thing is defective. You go back, you tell you, I will not exchange it. I will not even give you your money. We have stores in Ghana, foreign stores in Ghana, who has the audacity to write on the receipt, goods sold are not returnable. And you as an MP, you sit here and it's not important to you. I'm very, very angry at Parliament. Very, very angry at Parliament. The whole Parliament, especially Ayariga. What is also honorable about renaming Kotoka? The most important thing that Ghanaians are going through is renaming Kotoka International Airport. Look, the government has done well. The dollar is coming down. Inflation is doing well. Petrol has gone down. You get my point?
I won't like this one.
Those are the kind of things I want to see.
Don't listen.
Don't tell me about some international airport renaming. Do you know how much it's going to cost the taxpayer? Because the moment you take Kotoka out of it, you have to change every single thing that has Kotoka on it. And we don't even think. We thought about Jubilee and what's it called? Flagstaff House. And some people promised that when they come, they will change it.
And they did.
And they did.
Does this come to you more political than?
To me, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, National Communications Director of the CPP, Osei Kofi Akwa, says the move is important to correct a wrong in political history of Ghana.
After 60 years, justice has been served. Now, if we want to build a country, we need to be honest people. The hypocrisy in this country stinks. There are things people don't realize. When the 1966 coup happened, do you know what it did? It separated families. Certain people who were government appointees had to flee for their lives. They had to run in the middle of the night, leaving their children and wives behind. Some of them are still in exile, and I can mention one of them.
Who?
Senior Comrade Arrow from Pomanson, the father of Adakabe from Pomanson, still in the UK. Otibonsu and other people. Now, when the 1966 coup happened, certain people lost their lives unjustly. They were not taken to court. They were not found guilty of anything. But by the fact that they were associated with Nkrumah, they were killed. And that is why we are so happy that after 60 years, justice has been served. I believe that people who have lost their life, including my grandparents, who were members of the CPP, who were unjustifiably dealt with, okay, and some of them lost their lives.
Well, varied responses to that renaming. There's also a statement coming in from the Volta Regional Representative on the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Eliklin Kwabla Akpatogbo, and James Aveji is in the studio with details of that. So, James, what does it say?
Yes, Maame, excerpt of that statement says that international airports are not mere symbols. They are strategic and economic assets. Their value is determined by efficiency, safety, connectivity, cost competitiveness, cargo capacity, and the ability to attract airlines, trade, tourism, and investment. And a change in name does not improve operational performance, reduce the cost, expand routes, or increase passenger or cargo volumes. He went ahead to talk about how much this change of name will cost Ghana, and concludes by saying that it is for these reasons that he strongly and unequivocally call on the Volta caucus in Parliament, Volta Regional House of Chiefs, Volta-based diaspora organizations, and all Voltarians at home and abroad to fiercely reject this needless proposal, and also urging the wider Ghanaian public to resist any policy that does not move in the direction of development.
Thank you, James. And on that Ghanaian note, let's hear what people have been saying.
Oh, it's very necessary. They should change it. They should change it to either Ghana International Airport or Accra International Airport. Because, Kotoka, he just overthrown Kwame Nkrumah, or he overthrown Kwame Nkrumah, right? So, it's better. It's either Kwame Nkrumah International Airport, is better. Kotoka, the plan B.
What is the history behind Kotoka, the airport being named after Kotoka? I hear he was killed there. That's the story. People want to bring political issues about it and tribal issues. So maybe Accra is in Accra. So they just name it Accra International Airport and then we'll all be free.
Since Accra is the capital city of Ghana, I think the name should be Accra, not Kotoka.
Everybody knows it's Kotoka International Airport. So I don't think if they change it, that will be possible.
If they name it Kwame Nkrumah International Airport, that is good because he was the first president in Ghana.
Well, the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, has also been weighing in on this, and he's been explaining that the decision is not motivated by political ambition or intended to cause disaffection amongst the public, but seeks to restore the original name given to the airport by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
This is one of the issues the Ministry of Transport, and for that matter government, presented to Parliament, our activities for this period of the recall. Parliament will be expected to pass a lot of bills, and as government agenda we have a lot of bills from the Ministry of Transport, and one of them is the renaming of the Kotoka International Airport to its original name. We will remember that in the period of the Second World War, around 1946, the British Royal Air Force used that place as an Air Force base to carry people to war and other activities. After that period, somewhere in 56, that facility was handed over to the civilian rule. That was the time Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was at the helm of affairs. He retooled, he revamped, and redeveloped the Air Force base into a civilian passenger airport. And as at that time, the name was Accra International Airport.
The transport minister there, well, he was speaking on a state visit or working visit to the state transport company STC terminal in Accra, and Fatal Bayaga, my colleague, is there with him. Fatal, the minister also spoke about measures to address the transport challenges in the city. What did he say?
I mean, he said that the government is working tirelessly to get new fleets of buses for the various state transport companies, including STC. In fact, the management of STC said that in collaboration with the ministry, by May, they will receive about 100 buses that would help in intra and intercity operations. The minister believes if all of these are done properly or as expected, that would help to ease the transport challenges within Accra and other parts of the country. He also noted that bigger companies should also consider purchasing buses in order to transport their staff members to their various offices. He believes that if all of these are done, then it will help to ease the major challenges that commuters are faced with currently within the city.
Thank you very much, Fatal Bayaga. Now, the GPRTU has served notice it will not relent in its quest to keep arresting commercial bus drivers who charge passengers unauthorized fares. This comes after the arrest of over 100 drivers within the past 2 weeks in parts of the capital for fare-related offences. National Guard Commander of GPRTU, Drummond Ekogezi, spoke to Joy News.
On now, we heard about 106 drivers who have been arrested and handed over to the police for now.
And tell us exactly why these drivers are being arrested.
The problem is we normally do short shots. I feel, let's take it for instance, you go into Medina, they will take you from Accra and then to 37, then they alight you. And then the same car will pick the same people from there to Legon. And then we'll allow them there, and then the same car will pick the same people from there to Medina. So straight going to Medina, we get 3 cars at the moment. So that is the offenses that they have been doing. And then some of them also who applies Kaswa routes, Accra Kaswa, Kanesi Kaswa, we normally charge SS. Instead from here to Accra to Kaswa is 10 cities. They take 50 cities something.
Meanwhile, some commuters who've been stranded at transport terminals have told Joy News they are unhappy about the shortage of commercial vehicles.
We have not been getting it easy at all because sometimes you leaving the house early and coming here to join the queue, you get to work late. So I think the government should provide us with buses.
The situation here is like no car. When they come, instead of streets, they will tell you they are going to drop like from here to Weja. When you make arrangement that we are going maybe from here to Kanesi, you have a Kanesi fare, but they will tell you that Weja or Malam. But the arrangement you make, if you wanted to follow their procedure, you will not reach your destination. The way people are struggling for a car, if you don't take care, they will steal your money or everything you have on you. Right in front of me, they just snatched someone iPhone 17 right now, and the person was here just crying because of struggle to get car.
Well, let's cross over now to Parliament and get the latest in the House. Kwekwa Sante, what's happening in Parliament?
The legal education reform bill is expected to be back on the floor for consideration. Yesterday, it progressed from the first reading and second reading, and this time around, MPs will be discussing the clause-by-clause arguments of it. There's also the parliament members' motion that has been filed by Kojo Nkrumah and a number of NDP MPs that is seeking to investigate the Bank of Ghana's Gold for Reserve scheme. They say that on the back of the losses that the Bank of Ghana has made, on the back of also the trading that has been done by the Gold Board, it is imperative for Parliament to investigate this. And so it is also listed on the order paper. The expectation is that perhaps a decision will be taken on that today. Parliament was expected to start sitting at 12. It is past 12 now. The sitting hasn't started, but we expect that any moment from now, the Speaker will gather the House in session AC.
Thank you very much, Kwekwa Santi, our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a break when we return. We have sports, and also from abandoned stoves to sustainable solutions, we'll tell you why community voices are key to clean energy success.
We are accustomed to using charcoal. LPG is often perceived as dangerous.
Welcome back to the Midday News. We have sports with Mubarak.
Maame Esi Black Star striker Antoine Semenyo is expected to start for Manchester City tonight as they take on Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. Now, Man City hold a 2-goal lead and last won the competition in 2021. Semenyo, who has scored 4 goals and provided 1 assist in 5 matches for his new club, hopes to help them secure the win for the final and ultimately lift the trophy.
I want to be part of that, and yeah, I want to rewrite history again. I feel like I'm very chaotic on the eye, just spontaneous. I just can do anything at any moment. So yeah, I'll be playing with a smile on my face, and I hope I do for the fans as well. Yeah, it's just my God-given talent. I mean, you want to be part of the team, to be honest. You want to be winning those trophies. You want to be playing with the best players in the world. So yeah, that perception is you just want to be involved, and thank God I'm involved, and we can win many more trophies.
Well, kickoff is at 8 p.m. with a winner facing Arsenal in next month's final. Meanwhile, Ghana drew 6-6 with Zambia in the first leg of the Futsal AFCON qualifier. The second leg is on Friday in Lusaka.
Thank you, Mubarak. In many communities, energy is more than light or cooking. It's about dignity, health, and survival. In Otepolu, in Ghana's eastern region, development projects have often failed not because residents resist change, but because their voices were ignored. As a result, clean cook stoves are abandoned, forcing women and children back into smoky kitchens and unsafe fuels. However, when chiefs, queen mothers, and community members are engaged, solutions take root and lives improve. Benedict Ohene-Asamo of KTU Radio has details in this report.
In many Ghanaian communities, resilience begins with leadership. These voices hold trust, and when they are involved, energy solutions take root.
We are accustomed to using charcoal. LPG is often perceived as dangerous, largely because there has been little education on its proper use. With adequate education and awareness, this fear can be reduced. We can adapt to LPG, cut down our dependence on charcoal, and in the process protect our trees and the environment.
But too often, projects arrive without listening to them. Solar lamps lie broken, LPG stoves gather dust, and clean cook stoves are abandoned.
The gas ni affordable fine, but distance no one. Ube faka another motor akokofobia. I had money kofobia in and out 15 cities. That's an asana wasa filiga na samba. Intike manufacturer ni bi wo area hana ka benya. Ka filling station ni bi benya. Ka obi abe dey ebe pe biato.
Cylinder boy den. Gas bon so ye den. Enti na maye yusu bidie. Na bidie no so ye yusu a ye so a eko smoke no eko yemu.
Na gas no dey ye. Na ye ntimi to gas no. Enti ye still bidie. Na we dey yakaka na
the demand for wood drives deforestation, which worsens soil erosion, reduces rainfall, and leaves communities more exposed to floods, droughts, and heat waves. But there is another path. When chiefs and queen mothers are involved, when communities are consulted, projects succeed.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited says it's losing volumes of water through illegal means, and Kojo Mensah Abrampa of Adom News is here with us to tell us more about that. Kojo, what have we been learning?
So, Maame Esi, the Ghana Water Limited held a press conference. They said they've done some audit on daily gallons of water that are produced nationwide, and they realized that out of 220 million gallons that are produced daily, they are losing 114 million gallons on daily basis.
Wow.
So as a result, they've inaugurated a task force that are going to clamp down on illegal connections so that they'll be able to make room for the lost water that are being gone waste, that human beings too are looking for water.
And they can't get, especially the tertiary areas and all that.
Yes, so now the task force, tomorrow is their orientation, and then the next day they kick off and then they start work.
Right. Thank you so much, Kojo Mensah Abrampa, giving us details of that. I will have more coming up in subsequent bulletins. Sounds from Kenneth Kaunda International Airport in Zambia, where John Mahama is due to arrive shortly for a 3-day state visit at the invitation of President Hichilema. He will receive a ceremonial welcome before addressing the National Assembly of Zambia, outlining Ghana's vision for a more integrated Africa. The visit follows Mahama's recent recognition by DEVEX as a leading global development influencer. Ghana's High Commissioner to Zambia, Elizabeth Nyantichi, says the trip will deepen bilateral ties with several agreements expected, including a visa waiver pact.
This visit goes a long way, going a long way to further strengthen the bond of relation between the two countries. Now, coming to the current state visit, we are going to sign some MOUs in the area of bilateral air service agreements, in the area of visa waiver. Visa waiver is very important because the two countries have very little trade between them, and so it's going to improve movement of persons between the two countries. We are also going to sign MOU in the area of health.
The Institute of Economic Affairs is taking on government over its proposed mineral royalty regime, warning it risks losing or locking Ghana into an outdated extractive system that gives away too much and keeps too little. The think tank is rejecting the draft Minerals and Mining Regulations 2025, which sets sliding royalty rates of 5 to 12% for gold and lithium and a flat 5% for other minerals, describing the approach as a continuation of a colonial model of resource exploitation. And Collins Frimpong joins me in studio with details from that IEA statement. Collins, what are the concerns raised?
Right, so the IEA expressed concern over the Ministry of Lands considering a separate bill to introduce a 9% to 12% sliding scale royalty across the mining sector. The Institute labeled the ministry's position as confounding and contradictory to President John Mahama's public statement, and they cited him during his speech at the UN General Secretary in September 2025.
All right. What proposal did they make for Ghana to benefit from the resources?
So the IEA indicated that the royalty system, whether fixed or sliding scale, are inherently flawed by their transfer because they transfer ownership and control to foreign companies, leaving Ghana with only a small fraction of the resource wealth. Okay. Instead, the Institute advocates for a model full national ownership where the state retains control and contract private firms, local or foreign, strictly through service agreements.
Thank you very much, Collins Frimpong, for that. Right about now, we're doing What's Trending, and Adobia, as always, is in the studio with me. Adobia.
Mami, the airport's name theme is still trending, and people are posting varying views on what they think. While some people believe Accra International Airport is a more appropriate name, others believe it's unnecessary for now. Some people are also vehemently against the minority leader trying to play, the tribalism card, bringing the whole vote out. And so a lot of people are saying things. Also, there's condolences are pouring in for family of Ron Kernolly, American gospel singer, worship leader, and songwriter who passed on yesterday at age 81. Sorry. We really love him. I'm sure
I do.
Generation Alpha.
What's your favorite song of him?
Ancient of Days.
I do like Sing Out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Give us a line or two.
Yes. Oh, no. He headlined the Adam Praise 2011. Actually, I was on stage that day. With a Harbour City mask.
So I'm not that small. Oh. I tell people all the time that I'm not Indomie.
You were not even a teenager anyway.
But I was 12 and I remember the song.
Well.
So yeah, condolences are pouring in for Ron.
Yeah, we celebrate him really for a life well lived. God bless his soul and may his soul rest in peace. That's how we end this afternoon's bulletin here on Joe 99.7 FM. Up next is Live and Word with Pastor Mensa Otobil.